Hello one and all, hello. Another video for Dust, this time looking at a few of the units of the Allied faction. Took 3 of each: infantry, heroes, aircraft, support weapons, medium walkers, or light walkers, and heavy walkers.
Yep.
So starting with the infantry.
Infantry, these are 3 of my favourites, because otherwise we'd be here all night long and you don't want to look at us all night long. So we just restricted it to 3 of our favourites, I think, which is probably wise. First one I've gone for, which is a unit called Tank Busters, because they're just awesome. Tank Busters, yay! There'll be a theme with the units I've chosen. That theme is they fly. So they're really fast and they ignore all terrain in between. So awesome. Tank Busters, besides flying, they've got grenades. So infantry get no cover saves, but they get their infantry saves as normal. And for 3 of them, they're 12 points. And what we have for your 12 points, you get 3 bazookas with a range of 4 squares. And you get a rocket punch each, which is for combat. So, do you want to go across the whole thing?
Well, it's pretty much a case of not bad on infantry, pretty good on tanks. The rocket punch, good all round.
Yeah, they're a decent all round unit.
Armour 3, really good movement, really good march range. The thing about the Allied heavy infantry, the Armour 3 infantry, is they aren't as resilient as the Axis or the SSU infantry.
No, they don't get damage resilience and all that.
But they are fast as hell, and in a game like Dust you need to be aware of the things that constantly move.
Yeah,
otherwise they will be on you.
They are good at outmanoeuvring you. They can flank you and they've got a decent range.
Not only that, the tank busters with their rocket punch can actually hit flyers in combat.
Oh yeah, for armour 1 flyer they can hit. Yeah, I didn't see that there.
Which I think on the, well, definitely on the SSU craft they are armour 1, which,
yeah,
considering what they get, that's really quite useful.
Next one, this is a unit I've used before, which is I really like, is the Grim Reapers. They're a unit of 3 for 11 points, and they fly. Well, what they've got is twin Victory machine guns, which can absolutely shred infantry. Seriously, they have a range of 6, and against armour 1 infantry you're rolling 12 dice, armour 2 11 dice, armour 3 8 dice, and armour 4 you're rolling 4 dice each. So if you're fighting like his, with the most of your stuff's armour 1 infantry, isn't it, mate?
Armour 2, there's quite a bit of armour 1 now, there's a little bit of armour 3.
So the unit of 3 of these, you're rolling 36 dice.
Even against the SSU, you're rolling 12 dice, that's still going to hurt.
And they've got rocket punches, so, awesome for that.
Which again, what they do, really useful.
Plus the machine guns can hit armour 2 airplanes. So excellent. Third squad, which I've only just noticed about 5 minutes ago, which having noticed them, I'm going to get a unit of these because these bad boys are going straight in my army, onto the front line. They're the Hammers, and for 10 points, for unit of 3, they can charge, which is after you make a march move, they get to make a free attack. And they first strike, which means you get to hit first in combat, which is always handy. And of course they can fly. And all they have up their sleeves is 3 rocket punches each, well, between them. But you're rolling 2 dice against everything. So unit of 3, charge in, move a 6, charge across the board against any vehicle or infantry, you're rolling 6 dice if all 3 get in. And against all vehicles they can do 3 damage.
Including flyers.
Including flyers.
These are probably the powerfulest of them. of the three. They haven't got any ranged weapons, but they have got a basic move of 4 and a march of 6.
And they can attack after they move.
Even if they march, which...
Yeah.
You're getting them to do
awesome.
what they do, possibly on first turn if you're lucky enough.
And they're armour 3.
Like I said, they're not as resilient, but they are quick as all hell, because there is no other armour 3 or even armour 4 infantry that's got that much movement on them.
No, I don't believe there is. And if you're playing on a board that's bigger than, I don't know, what, 10 squares or so, then
something like that.
hug them in, march them, hug them in cover on your first turn. Second turn, you're going to be in range of something.
Yeah, easily.
You know, so if you have to weather a turn of shooting something, you know, hug them in cover as much as you can. And then, well, second turn, you're going to kill something with them. That's about as simple as that, isn't it?
So next, support weaponry.
Support weapons. Now, I must admit, I haven't used any of these before, but
I've got to say, support weapons
shall
are
plod onwards.
you might like them.
For the most part, they are pretty cheap. There's a heavy machine gun squad and a mortar squad that are 5 points each. So for the most part, they're pretty cheap. You can. Their machine gun squad only moves 1, can march 3, has an armour of 1, but the machine gun does have a range of 10 squares.
And
so that's pretty cool.
And they'll do a lot of damage to infantry.
Oh yes, it will tear infantry to pieces. I mean, you got 9 dice against armour 1, 9 against armour 2, 7 against armour 3, and you're even rolling 5 dice against Russians.
So 5 points.
And then you get an automatic rifle and 2 submachine guns, which again kicking out. I mean, you've got 14 dice against armour 1 just from them weapons.
Because it's a support weapon, you choose either its main weapon or the infantry guns, whichever one you want.
Yeah.
Both a viable option. They're very cheap, but they've got low armour and they're not that fast. But considering the range on them, they don't really need to be that fast.
No. Just hunker them in cover and you're laughing, aren't you? Same with the mortar really, it's same armour, same movement, but it's got a minimum range of 4 and a maximum range of 12. And it's a blast, so you know, like I say, if you've got a range of 12, you don't really need to move very fast, do you?
Nope. Does what it needs to do.
Yeah.
When it dies, it'll probably have taken something out.
Yeah. And if it don't, so what? It's 5 points. This now onto a bit of a sexy one I've chose just because it looks awesome, and the fact that it's 30 points just because. Dual field phaser, and it's a strong point. It's a support weapon. It's a phaser gun, which means you get no cover saves from it. You can re-roll your failed saves, cancelling hits on your army symbol because it's a strong point. And you get a bunker save.
Now that's only if you upgrade it to a bunker,
Right.
which is an extra 5 points. To make it a bunker.
Yeah.
So it'd be 35 points and
Worth it.
yeah, because you'd get saves on shields as well.
Yep. Shields and army symbols. That's pretty awesome.
Can't move.
Well, of course you can't move. It's a bunker.
Yeah. Not needing to move.
Seriously. Decent. Well, it's got a better range than the Devastator tank. It's got a range of 12, and you're rolling 14 dice against all armour of infantry, and you're rolling 2 dice against all armours of vehicles. And against the vehicles, you're doing 7 damage each hit. So both of them hit. Bye bye, pretty much anything. Yep. Well, if even one of them hits, you're going to say goodbye to a light walker.
It's not cheap, but considering how much firepower you bring in, it does.
Yeah. Oh, and it's a turret as well, so it can fire all the way around. So you don't even need to worry about deploying it with a decent line of sight, because, you know, oh, I'm a turret. What more do you want?
Medium light vehicles?
Yep. Now, these three I have used. We shall start with possibly my least favourite one, which is it's called a Mickey, and this is the light version, so it costs 11 points.
You can get a heavier armoured variant,
Yep.
costs slightly more.
It costs a few points more, you get an extra point of armour for your extra points. Yeah, it's worth it. So, I'm only using this because I can't bother to go in my box and get the other card out, so here we go.
It's the same thing.
Yeah. Its main gun is a turret-mounted howitzer with a range of 8, and that's a blast on infantry, and you're rolling 1 dice against all armours. It's not bad. It's a support walker, so you know.
Good at harassing infantry. I wouldn't say it killed too many, but you won't get cover saves, so.
No, the howitzer is a grenade, so you don't get cover saves, but I find with this, the 30 cal and 50 cal machine guns kill more infantry than the main weapon does.
It's good at annoying infantry and maybe light vehicles, but against heavier stuff, well, you'll probably have heavier vehicles and tank killers anyway, so.
Yeah, it's alright for a distraction, but you know, I think it's not going to win you games.
No.
Let's put it like that. Next one called the Pounder, which you get in the Allied starter box with
Now the
G.I. Joe.
The Allied starter box, the card we've said before in other videos, the cards in that are wrong.
Yeah.
Because the Pounder has unlimited range.
And it costs 40 points.
That's been changed, and that is not the case.
No, it now costs 14, not 40.
And it actually does something.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's a thrill when it hits, but you know, its main £17 gun has a range of 16, so you can quite happily leave it on the back of your board, confident that you're going to be in range of pretty much something. It's a blast against all armours of infantry, and you're rolling 1 dice again for all vehicles. It does decent damage if it hits, but you know, you're only rolling 1 dice, so it's kind of a toss-up really. Sustained fire pretty much for this one, definitely. Seeing you're only rolling 1 dice, you know, if it hits, it can do 3 damage to armour 7, so that's pretty much the heaviest armour in the game, so you know, it's not bad. Again, the machine guns are just annoy the crap out of infantry.
The thing is with the Pounder, it's kind of like the Jagluthers for the Axis. It's faster, movement 3 for medium walkers, pretty good.
Yeah, armour 4.
Armour 4, pretty decent. I'm rolling 2 dice, he's rolling 1, but he's got more movement, so gets in position a bit quicker, and is a turret, so trade-off works.
And now this is my absolute favourite one. Would you care to tell the viewers what its name is?
The Bastard!
Yes, the bar steward, as he prefers to call this one. He hates this one.
I hate it.
I love it, not because of what it can do. It can do loads, but I love it because it winds him up no end.
Now, if you play Warhammer 40k or anything like that, there is a saying called shiny syndrome, where you see something that either does a lot or looks like it could do a lot, and you kill it.
Yeah. This thing is called the Barking Dog, right? And I kid you not, it has got 6 really, really big cannons on top of it.
You can get a lighter variant. They're both pretty much the same, either armour 3 or armour 4.
He hates this a lot because
it's horrendous. Go through the stats.
I mean, it can move 3, it can march 5. It's got armour. This light version's armour 3. The one I use armour 4.
Costs a bit more, but worth it all the way.
Oh yes, so worth it. Its main cannon, cannons I should say, are 6 recoilless artillery guns, which have a range of 12, and against all armours of infantry, it's 2 blast, so you're rolling twice.
2d per model.
If you're firing it at a unit of 5, you're rolling 10 dice, pretty much. And against armour 1 to 4 of vehicles, you're rolling 4 dice. Oh no, up to armour 5 you're rolling 4 dice. 4 dice for this. And up to armour 3 it instant kills them. And armour 4 it does 5 damage, armour 5 does 4 damage, armour 6 does 4 damage but you're only rolling 2 dice. And armour 7 it can do 3 damage. It is sustained fire on this kiddo and you are going to kill stuff.
The only downside is you have to do a reload action every time you fire. But if you have someone that is an officer, you just tell them to reload, and if you're successful, you get your reload back.
And then you sustain fire on something that you want to kill. Something within 12 spaces